Welcome to our final week of exploring the components of the United Methodist Church post 2024 into the future as we discover new ways for a new day in the life of our denomination. And all you have to do is look around and realize it's a new day, exciting. Now, I do want to say that next week we're going to begin a new series in the adult education ministry of Grace United Methodist Church in Winfield, Kansas. This new series will explore from a faith perspective violence in its many forms and expressions in the culture of the United States. Violence has become a prevailing practice in our life together. It's a force, in my opinion, that is over against the teachings and life of Jesus. Violence, in my opinion, is on the rise in our life together in our culture at the same time that participation in faith communities is on the decrease. I think it's worth our time to take a look at the practice and the phenomenon of violence. However, this week we conclude our exploration of the United Methodist Church as a denomination that's known by verbs, not nouns. I think it's just important to look at the whole package of what this means. You know, Jesus' invitation to those who chose to listen to him was, "Come, follow me." The invitation was not, "Hey, come on, think like me." It wasn't, "Come and agree with me." It wasn't, "Come and rule with me." You see, follow implies action, a way to be and live in relationship to others. And we're looking at these 10 verbs as a package. All are based on the life and teachings of Jesus and the story of the earlier followers of Jesus. Now, let's review this package. 6 relate to our life together. Futuring, living into the future rather than trying to reconstruct the past. That's based on Jesus' teaching on the kingdom of God, which was future-oriented, the reign of the divine. Balancing, avoiding extremism by the fruits of God's Spirit being formative in our life together, as Paul described: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If those are guiding principles for our life together, extremism that is wearing blinders will not be a part of our future. The third one is reasoning, sharing our thoughts and opinions and considering the consequences of what we say and what we do before we speak and before we act, considering the consequences based on Jesus' teaching to love God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength. Then partnering, living and working with those we disagree, is the ministry of reconciliation that Paul advocated to the early followers of Jesus. They weren't a team of those who agree. They were a team of those who chose to follow Jesus. Indeed, delegating, enabling the gifts of every disciple for the mission of God's love, rather than centralizing power and authority in a few, utilizing the gifts of all. Sending. Being sent to serve assures that the gospel of love, justice, and mercy and truth will be shared throughout the world rather than only those places we would choose in which to serve. Then the next three characteristics describe our relationship with the not yet church, those who are not a part of the family of faith. Neighboring. Willingness for our programmed lives to be interrupted by seeing and responding to persons and groups who are in the ditch, hurting and alone. It's what the parable of the Good Samaritan is all about. Neighboring is that front porch of discipleship in our relationship with the not yet church. And then the verb of welcoming. This is a step beyond seeing and serving those in the ditch. It is, if you will, the living room of faith, sitting beside the not yet church, sharing and listening, spending time to develop relationships of care and relationships of trust. Welcoming embodies Jesus' lifestyle and welcoming all. Remember, even the children. Let them come to me in the living room. Not just the front porch where we can see and serve, but in the living room where we can welcome. But then the verb including. This is beyond the front porch, beyond the living room. It's at the kitchen table. This is where human lives experience the interweaving. I am you, and you are me. This is the experience of the incarnation of divine love in the flesh, in Jesus, but also forever in the life of every disciple of Jesus, including is our way of life. And the final characteristic, the final verb, is the consequence of all the others and what enables all the others to take place, and that is the verb of changing. The church will always be changing, for the world is changing, and to serve our present age, change is a given. It clarifies for every generation the choice between being frozen and being relevant. We're not God's frozen people. We're God's chosen people. Changing determines that the right choice is to be relevant to our present age and our present place. This is quite a list of verbs describing the components of the United Methodist Church as we move forward. These verbs are the new ways for a new day, and it's an exciting journey for God's people called United Methodist. What a package. What a package to be a part of and carry as United Methodists walk the journey in a new way for a new day. And for your thought and conversation as we conclude this series, first, to the extent of your knowledge of the United Methodist Church as a denomination, which of these characteristics is the most challenging for the United Methodist Church? Secondly, as you think about your faith community, which of these characteristics is the most challenging for your local congregation? And finally, what's your response to the United Methodist Church being described by verbs rather than nouns? Thanks for being a part of this journey, and we welcome you to a new journey next week.